Magic Fit here with
Torian from Wellman Wellness Training.
And we're going to go over a little bit of a scenario for general fitness, just going through someone who typically works at a desk. And for fun purposes, we're going to call it a desk jockey today.
DJ.
So, always makes it more fun when you're a DJ.
Yeah.
Ricka. Going in for a few mobility drills just in terms of opening up the hips, maybe the ankles a little bit more, and possibly the shoulder when we're sitting in a desk. So I'm sitting at a desk. I tend to be very tight in the hips because they're always flexed, and my shoulders tend to go forward as I'm just leaning for the day, head forward. So we're going to try and get some of that alignment back in by stretching out the hips, creating some space, as well as getting the posture. So in our previous introduction video, we were talking about desk jockeys, or our DJ here. We're going to go into a little bit more of a mobility drill. So we're working on ankles and your hip flexors, which is the front of your hips. We're trying to get a little more space, so we're extending through there for a bit of a stretch. We're going to do a little bit more dynamic. So you're going to start in a lunge position, kneeling, so 90 degrees in both legs. And for the first one, we're going to work through some ankle gliding. So you're going to be moving your knee straight over, then over and outside of the big toe, and then over and outside the pinky toe. So you're going to be placing your hands just over top of that thigh. You want to create maybe a little bit of pressure if you're not feeling too much going on in the ankle. And you are essentially going to be gliding forward and then taking your knee across the big toe and then going back and then out past the pinky for the knee. So that's just going to create some space in the ankle. And we're working through the ankle here because obviously the ankle is closer to the ground in terms of movement, and then working our way up the chain towards the hip to create a little bit more space. Because when we are sitting in these very tight positions all day, we end up being very tight in the front of the hip. And then we also end up getting that forward roll and head tilt in the shoulders. So we want to maintain that position, squeeze back through the shoulder and keep our head back. So going through the center, and then both sides is going to be 1. You're going to go for a total of 10. What number are we at?
This will be our last one.
Perfect. So once you have done the 10 there, we're going to go in for a hip flexor stretch. So you're going to be in this exact same position, except this time you are going to be pushing the hips forward and gliding through. If you want a demo.
So from here it's into that position.
Squeeze in the hip, and then you're going to glide forward.
Okay.
So you should be feeling a stretch across the front of that hip. And that's just going to help create a little bit more space through that hip, especially if we've been sitting all day. Same thing here. We want to maintain that posture. Just like I said, as we're sitting throughout the day, we tend to get that forward roll in the shoulder and the head tilt, as exaggerated by our DJ. So we're also going to do 10 here. And then once you are done 10 of each, you are going to switch legs and do the same thing. So we're not going too far past the ankle and the toes here when we're looking at this. So just trying to maintain that as an idea as well.